where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. Oh, 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 oh,
Indeed, the grass is greener. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure this Sunday to talk to folks. Come back to the who are interested in the refugee program to come to America. Again, I'm not an advocate for anyone to leave South Africa. I'm certainly not an advocate for people to immigrate to my overpopulated country, in my view. Not at all. But I'm also not a detractor here to mislead you and lie to you about what's available and what's not available. Thank you. Back to the program. Yes, it's a pleasure to have you join me today. A couple things. First off, I just had an Amazon delivery. Isn't it nice to have a reliable service that just shows up at your door? This interesting book, which has a foreword by Dr. Victor Davis Hanson, a previous guest on my program, Defenders of the West, the Christian heroes who stood against Islam. Raymond Abraham, foreword by Victor Davis Hanson, and it talks about a number of those who have defended Christianity against the faith of Islam, the latest and newest of the major faiths, the junior religion, one that believes that people should submit. The name is in the description itself, Islam. Duke Godfrey, defender of Christ's sepulchre. The Cid, Lord and Master of War. King Richard, the lion that roared at Islam. Saint Ferdinand, savior of Spain. St. Louis, Christ's tragic hero. John Hunyadi, the White Knight of Wallachia. Skanderberg, the Albanian braveheart. And Vlad Dracula, the dread Lord Impaler, who has had a lot of propaganda spread about him over the centuries, lying about who Vlad the Impaler was. Not that he didn't impale the evil Turks, but he did do it. Also received some electronics. These are some nice, lovely, very inexpensive USB-C to USB-B connectors, USB 3. So I got a couple of those. You put the little C in the top and it connects there, in the top and it goes there. Needed a few of those. And I picked up this port hub so I can start plugging in more devices into my PC. So here is a USB 3.2 hub with 16 individual power switches. This was on sale and I got it at a good price. So this is a Black Friday special and already here. 16 ports, comes with a power adapter. And so, yeah, USB 3.2. So really excited about that too. Be able to start sticking all of these multiple drives into it simultaneously, so I can start looking at things all at the same time. Here's another one. I've got so many of these things piled up here. Yeah, and I can have multiple drives. So yes, excited about that. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I just wanted to share that very quickly with you before we get into the meat and hardware of what we're going to talk about today. Or I should say the meat and potatoes, not the meat and hardware. Anyway, by the way, all of that was less than $50 in case you're curious. Not a lot of money. Not a lot of money. Anyway, so, all right. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'll say this polite and warm as I can. But my patience has worn more than thin. I've had it, as we say in German, ich habe die Nase voll gehabt, means I've had it, my nose is full. And Americans, we say we've had it up to here. But I've had enough of people who are disrespectful and rude. I am, by all means and all accounts, as people describe those of generational, I'm an elder. And disrespect for your elders because your feelings are hurt is rude and disrespectful. I'm also a retired colonel. That should command some respect. That's a title I earned, a title that I exercised very successfully in defending people. Also, I have done a lot for an awful lot of people, particularly in South Africa, but not exclusively in South Africa. People whose feelings are hurt because they demand my attention. I don't even know who they are. They jump into my sending me messages, sending me WhatsApp, sending me emails, and demand attention. When you have the arrogance to think that you're the most important person in the world or the most important person in my life, that's your problem, not mine. And if you take offense to this, then it just shows how petty, small-minded, and self-absorbed you are. I receive thousands of messages every day. I do my best to get to them. I have no obligation to respond to a single one of those messages. The only obligations I have to respond to is to pay my mortgage, every month to pay my credit card bills, to pay my taxes, and to pay my utilities. That's it. I have no other obligations, none to anyone, anywhere whatsoever. Yet I give of my limited lifespan, my time, to answer your questions. And if you have the audacity to get your feelings hurt because you didn't get a response, well, then you can just foot-sec. You can piss off and you can go somewhere else. I didn't ask you to come here. I didn't ask you to be rude to me. I didn't ask you to communicate with me in WhatsApp without my permission. I did not ask that, or in an email. That is your moral failing, not mine. Your moral failing. Now, that is directed at a small number of people, not an individual, but a small number of people who, frankly, have just become too obnoxious and demanding. Thank you, Julianne Clote, for your anniversary chat there. Thank you for working so hard. You're very welcome. Yeah, and today's the 4th hour broadcasting. 4th hour broadcasting. And if anybody thinks that I'm making money that compensates me for that, you think the super chats and the ad revenue I get from this channel do it? It's nice. It's nice little. And I appreciate it. I don't turn it down. And if I had 1 million subscribers, then it would actually be a living. Then I'd be making money and enjoying the profits of that. But without 1 million subscribers, it's not happening. But I quite frankly, my nerve has been stepped on too many times. The arrogance, the condescending, insulting behavior of people. Well, I guess you don't care about me. I guess my people. I guess I'm not Afrikaner enough. I guess I'm not this enough. I guess I'm not. You know what? You're not. Piss off. Be gone. Have fun storming the castle, boys. It's really getting old. It's really, really getting old. And I've put up with this crap for 10 months on this refugee issue alone. A really good time here last Friday with Colonel and all the chat members. Well, that's good, Julie. Glad to hear that. So are we for more than 7 days been waiting and praying? The many in line just must be patient. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Good afternoon. Well, thank you for the super chats. Riffs Hards, 140 rank. Clouds are gathering, folks. Clouds are gathering. I had a really good time here. Okay, really is a worry that my case in progress and complete. All info disappeared, only to leave me with a message saying I must write. So you have to get more. That is a really odd situation, Vera. That's a really odd situation. Thank you for your membership, Helgard. Potgeeter. Thank you so much for that. And congrats on the Ambassador at Large appointment. I don't really have the appointment. Thank you for 350 Rand Super Chat, Etienne Bronkhorst. Pauline says, I love that you called this out. Respect is part of having manners and morals. It is, but it's not happening. It's not. It's happened far. Look, it's a small number of people, but it's enough. It's enough. It's enough that it's annoying beyond belief. It's not just those people. It's also the haters and the liars and the people who try to destroy reputations. But the problem is that they attack things without any substance. It's like the attacks on Thea, the nonsense going on over there. By the way, I haven't heard from this. I'm supposed to hear from somebody in Netvec 24. I haven't heard from them. Yep. I'm sorry to hear that, Vera. I don't know what the situation is in your case. That's odd. Yeah, Hinku Nell says that this will be the downfall of many South Africans in the States. Entitlement. Indeed. It's a downfall of a lot of people. Entitlement. Yep. If you target an American audience, the super chats and such would be in dollars, not cents. Holden Caulfield, I have targeted an American audience, and YouTube has frozen my channel. It's called America's Pulse with Chris Wyatt, Colonel Chris Wyatt. That's I have stuck at 22,000 subscribers. They don't promote my content there. I put the same video on this channel and get 50,000 views, put the same channel on that video about America and get 500 views if I'm lucky. I do target an American audience, but YouTube has got my number on that channel, and I'm not in it. Maybe I can create a new channel, yet another channel. Maybe I should do that. Create another YouTube channel. Would it be detrimental to my case if I renew my passport now to avoid? No, it wouldn't be. No. Oh no! If it's good for 3 years, I would not. I would just leave things as they are, Johan. I thought it was going to expire in 6 months. Johan, just leave things as they are. Just leave. The South African embassy in Washington D.C. is responsible for renewing your passport if you're abroad in the U.S. Just leave it be, okay? Etienne, congratulations on becoming ambassador, and welcome, Helgards. Potgeeter. If you have it, choose between Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Corpus Christi. Which one choose? San Antonio, but be ready for brutal heat. Summer is rough. August. I've been to San Antonio 3 years in a row in the early part of this century in San Antonio in August, and it was brutal. It was brutal. But yeah, Corpus Christi's down in the water, and it's not as developed. San Antonio has a thriving economy. You can go apply for a job with USAA. That's the military affiliated insurance and banking company. They have lots of jobs, and they pay people very well with great benefits. And they're based in San Antonio. Everyone else, I take my hat off to you. You need more respect than given by some. You have gone over and beyond. Yep. Thank you very much for that. Yep. So Scoppy, that I would, if you were asking my choice of which of those places, I would live in San Antonio. Vera is very odd, but a good few of us got it. They drilled me an interview about being born in Zimbabwe. All right, Vera, thanks for that. Another 8 months, says Brent. Well, you should be okay. Oh, it's your birthday, Sonneblum. You may have a cake. I'm sorry you had to ask for it. All you should have to say is, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. Where is my birthday cake? There it is. Happy birthday to Sonneblum. There you go. Happy birthday. Yeah, Arctic says go for San Antonio. Yep, we agree on that. Andy Floyd says Afrikaners are entitled and demanding. They're not the only people. Is it true that refugee travel will stop after 18th December until the new year? Now you are stealing my analysis. I don't know where you heard that from, but my analysis is the following. I'll announce it here. I'm going to make a video on it, but now none of you will watch it. You're going to hurt my feelings here. Listen, do not be surprised if there is no refugee travel between the 15th of December and the 5th of January. Now, why would that be? Anybody want to guess why that would be? That there'll be no refugee travel between the 15th of December. Well, maybe 15th. I'd say the 15th. So, yeah, between the 15th of December and the 5th of January. Why would there be no travel over that time frame? 3 weeks. Anybody want to guess? That's my analysis. I'm going to put a video out about it. I don't have evidence necessarily, but I do have indications that would be the case. Also, my experience. So, possible, please do another interview with Morgan. Morgan's very busy, Sonia, and I'm not sure she's up for an interview. Yonku Boats, thank you for subscribing. What I've learned so far with this refugee program, apart from patience, is that there are a lot of South Africans I would prefer not to meet. Ronald, I can see where you're coming from there, man. My wife and I have our first in-person interviews this week. Long trip, but we don't care. Just grateful for the opportunity. All right, good luck with that, Northgard. Be careful traveling there. Illinois refugee officers said so. Huh? Okay, why would you tell people that then? Why would you tell people that? Does the CSC show do well? That's difficult to gauge, Virtual Western Cape, because it's a radio broadcast and we're doing it for the radio, not for the internet. It doesn't do well on the internet, but it does well over the air. A lot of people in New Hampshire tune into the program. Yep, and so it's hard to say if it does well. Emailed you the link for the Pete Hegseth clip. Thank you for that, Heinrich. Excuse me. Oh, goodness. Getting old and tired here, folks. Sorry about that. Yeah, thank you for that. Whoops, that's not good. The Colts have given up a touchdown. Shame, shame, shame. All right. But they're driving. Okay. Right. And what about sponsors, Nebula Ground News? What? What are you talking about, man? That is a strange post. I have an understanding what that means. Hardest thing. Okay. Wow, it really jumped a ways here. So let me get back here. Okay, here we go. Benjamin says some hate wanker troll posts on a Facebook group as OG Fitness wants to come back to Mzansi group. Admin does not delete it. Well, I mean, have they mentioned who it is? Yeah. And if they want to go back to South Africa, fine, go back to South Africa. What do I care? If a refugee wants to go home, fine. Then obviously you weren't escaping racial persecution. So be gone. Be gone. Good evening, my father. You're paying your own way back is attached to our case, but he has no updates, and there were 3 weeks going on 4 weeks. I'm guessing, Jared, you're saying you have had an update. So if he's attached to your case, why would he get an update? I don't understand. Helgard Putgeeter, thank you for your channel. Chris, have all the respect and work. Well, thank you so much for the Helgard. I appreciate that. When will they send us the Joburg address for our interviews? Only a date confirmation. Well, first off, Lilue, you shouldn't say where you're getting your interview. That's not a good move. Second, when will they send the address? We have covered this many, many times. I'm going to mention again here now since you've asked. The people who do this are unreliably slow at this. We have seen many people receive their email late in the afternoon, the day prior to the location. Now, if you live in East London, getting to Pretoria or Joburg or Cape Town in the morning is a challenge. So the advice we've given, and most people have said it's panned out. There have been a few people who claim it didn't pan out, but I can't account for that. I wasn't present. But most people have followed the advice, and the advice is that if you've been told the date and the town you're supposed to be in, get your ass there. Get there. The email will probably come on your way to that location, that town. So you're staying overnight is what I'm getting at. And then some people have gotten the message in the morning just before they're supposed to be there. I mean, that's ridiculous. Even with traffic, say you're in Pretoria, there's traffic. Joburg, there's definitely traffic. And you're told to be at this location at 7:30. You get it at 6:30 in the morning. That's asinine. So you will get it if you get the email just before. Some people never got the email. It's a small number have never gotten it. So that's the advice I can give you, Liwei. Lile Lulu. And don't mention the town you're going to, okay? Because it's not just there, okay? Really don't want to be screamed. I will ask, can we please stop making jokes about the tents because officially no families in tents and garden waiting houses behind friend's house. Well, Johan Vanderhever, I guess you haven't been here for 10 months. For 10 months, they've lied in South Africa, and that joke is not about the people living in Wendy houses or living in tents. The joke is about the lie about America. So if it offends you, I'm sorry, but that's because the leftists in South Africa lied about it. And they told to discourage people from showing interest in the program that you'll be living in FEMA tents. FEMA. There's no FEMA in South Africa. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is in America. It's a FEMA tent. So people are going to keep telling that joke because they're pissed off at the leftists in South Africa, and they have a right to be. It's not directed at people living in tents and Wendy House in South Africa, not at all. And besides, why would people be offended by that? They're being told they're going to live in tents in America, and we're proving it's a lie. Anime Free says, token of appreciation too small to thank you enough. Well, thank you, Anime. I appreciate that. Anime, excuse me. I think the hardest thing about the process waiting for life change to happen, even after a daily dose of racist comments, all I can do is wait. Well, hang in there, Dawn's Designs. You're welcome, Son of Bloom. And Anthea, happy birthday, sing happy birthday. O'Neill says holidays, Christmas holiday. Exactly, folks. Exactly. But a lot of people haven't really factored that in. I feel it's time on the eve of December to start warning people that there may not be any flights. Why? Because there won't be any people to process it. Most of the federal government goes on holiday, like European governments do in December. A lot of people go on holiday for 2 or 3 weeks. They don't come back to the end of January. The military, traditionally, U.S. military, unless there's an operation that they're participating in, the U.S. military traditionally gets either a half day off from mid-December until the end of the first week in January, or they get day on, day off, which is what I love when I was enlisted. You get day on, day off. That's awesome. This week I get off Monday. Next week, so I get off Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Next week I get off Tuesday and Thursday. That's pretty good. Or you do a half-day schedule. So, but the problem with half-day schedules, when they started doing that, I was always a leader, and the leaders don't go home. You don't get a half-day schedule. You're still there all by yourself, getting work done, leading. So, yeah, I anticipate that there won't be refugees coming over from about the 15th of December till the 5th of January, and I will make a video after this to explain that, okay? And hopefully I'm wrong, but if past is precursor, then I will not be wrong. If you land in the USA, can you throw yourself? No, why would you throw your passport away? No, my goodness, high vibe. Okay, first off, let's be clear about something. You're not an immigrant. You're not an American. You need a passport to travel internationally. If you decide to go to Canada at some point or visit the UK or go to Europe or go on holiday somewhere and you have approval, you're going to need a passport. You won't get an American passport. You're not an American. Do not throw your passport away. If it's going to expire, take it to or send it to, however you do it, to the South African embassy when you're in America and have it renewed. You're not an American. And unless and until you become an American citizen 5 to 6 years down the road, in the best case scenario, you need to keep your South African passport. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. Christmas lights. Well, people put their Christmas lights up here before Thanksgiving. It's really annoying. It is December. It is seriously snowy in places. Well, it snowed here, but I haven't been outside to see the snow yet. Kids ask for North Carolina because they have family there. Yeah, it depends, Stella. North Carolina's fine. Not my cup of tea. The mountains are okay to the west, but not my cup of tea. Too many people in that state. Flight congestion. No, that's not the problem, Brent. The problem, although it's a reasonable explanation, it's because people won't be working. I might have some evidence around it, Chris. Well, O'Neill, I do have evidence around it. I'm trying to be coy, okay? Because employees also need family time and Christmas break. Exactly right. But I don't think they need one. They just had one in October for 43 days. Hey, Fiona Free, what's up? And what else? Because it's a very busy time of the year, no availability seats. That's a good guess, but what worries me is what you say about CWS. They're going to respond. Well, Church World Services is disingenuous. They don't respond to the media. All they respond to the media is friendly to them, but the media are friendly to them because they've fallen all over them. I wrote to them and asked for information and interview, and they simply ignore me. They are fond of putting messages up, denigrating the refugee program and attacking President Trump. I don't trust them for a heartbeat. Best friend has been waiting for contact since the 15th of May. Every one of us. Well, if your best friend is waiting for contact since the 15th of May, Sparks Electrical, once again, please listen. If your friend has been waiting since 15th of May and they have not done intake questionnaire, they will never, ever, ever be contacted. You must put in a statement, an intake questionnaire. That message has been on the embassy website since the 4th of November. They now squandered 26 days. They could have gotten in a queue of thousands of people. If your best friend has not submitted an intake questionnaire since the 4th of November, then they're screwed. If they want to come to America in this program, they're screwed. The advice you can give them is to listen to instructions and watch my program. Folks, when did I announce that this was the case? You had to do an intake questionnaire. Anybody want to tell me the day that I announced that? Anybody want to tell me? Anybody? Somebody in the chat. When did Chris Wyatt tell you that you have to put intake questionnaire in if you did a statement of interest or a PRM email? What date did I do that? Anybody want to guess? Can you move from where you're placed after you've received your Social Security number? We still receive it. Sandy, that's a good question. We've answered many, many times. But let me go back a little bit further before I answer that. How do you add racial persecution if you have not been attacked on a farm? Okay, stop. This is not about farms. It's not about farms. It's not about farms. Screw farms. They have nothing to do with this. Are you a victim of unjust racial persecution in the past, or do you have a legitimate fear for the future? If you can articulate that, regardless of where you live in South Africa, if you're a racial minority, South African citizen living in South Africa, and you've been a victim in the past, and you can articulate, or you have a legitimate fear of being persecuted in the future, then you qualify. No one cares about farms. That's a lie. Stop with the farm stuff. Done everything, went fairly quickly. Now we're waiting for orientation. Lots of patience, okay? You pay for an extra bag from South Africa, USA. Do you pay again for the same? No. No, you pay for your bag all the way through your final destination. That's one voyage. You pay all the way through the destination. That's how it works. Tell your friend, take it easy, apply on 13th. Have my email telling me away from my call, okay? People must remember after reopening January, there will be yes, no, you're correct. At the end of January, 30 January is when this temporary measure ends. 5 months for first contact. The process started moving at lightning speed. All interviews and medical done within 1 month. Now waiting for the outcome. There you go, Become Dragon. They can report the embassy for humanitarian assessment according to information. What are you talking about? General, how did I miss all these questions? If we're placed in a questionable place, there's something we can do about it. Just wondering. You can contact me. You can contact me. There have been at least 3 cases that people were put in places that were questionable, and I've addressed all of them. 2 of them were helping. The 3rd person never got back with me whether they were helped or not, so I don't know. Provisional. I don't work for the government, but I'm an independent journalist, and I have a large following, and I'm a retired colonel. And some of these people get benefits. They get donations from military organizations like USAA, and they respond when a veteran contacts them. Okay. What do you say that flights might not happen? Why? I just answered that question. I did enlighten you. Are you not paying attention? All right, now there was this question here. I don't want to forget it now. Yeah, do you pay for an extra bag? You do pay extra bags, and you pay. It depends on the airline. Some charge more. I think Delta charges $100. Yeah. How do you add racial persecution if you've not been attacked on a farm? Again, I just answered that question. So, solve the debate about locations. Texas. Now you can have Texas. No thanks. No thanks. I don't want to speak Spanish. I speak 6 languages. I refuse to learn Spanish. Nope, you can have Texas. Too hot, too humid, too dry, too big. Been to Texas many times. It's okay. And all the Californians are moving there. That's a good reason not to go there. Can you move from where? That's the question was, Sandy. Yes, Sandy, you can move, but the situation there you have to understand is that there are 2 things. I've covered this many times. Benefits, right? Benefits and entitlements. Okay. So the entitlements are shrinking. The big beautiful bill took away food stamps, so that's going away. That was an entitlement for refugees. That's disappearing now. Under the big beautiful bill, you won't get food stamps anymore, which kind of sucks, but that's the reality. But that is an entitlement. Things that under the law you're entitled to. You're entitled to refugee cash assistance. These are all put in my videos at the beginning back in February. Arctic suggests I do them. They're all into the playlist. Go back to the very beginning and watch the videos about, the background checks, the videos about financial assistance. All that stuff is there. And no one's ever proven to be incorrect because it's factually correct. So benefits are different than entitlements. An entitlement is something that you're entitled to under the law. You get it, okay? A benefit is something you get as a consequence of the money we give to refugee assistance programs like Church World Services. We used to give it to the racist Episcopal Church, and we give it to many other organizations. So that $2.6 to $2.9 billion a year that we give to them to resettle refugees is what determines benefits. Okay? Benefits could be that your case officer helps you with your resume. Benefits could be that your case officer provides transportation for you to go to the supermarket when you first arrive or teaches you how to use public transportation. Benefits could be, like we just saw with Genevieve and her son Damon, they were given bicycles. That's a benefit. That is not something that's an entitlement. It's a benefit. If you pick up and move from the location where you're at to a different location, you will lose access to your refugee case officer. They're not going to follow you from Georgia to Indiana. They live in Georgia. They're not going to follow you to Indiana if you choose to move to Indiana. That's your choice. That's your freedom. You have the right to do that. We don't care. But you no longer have that case officer. Now, it might be possible when you arrive, if there's another refugee assistance agency there, that they could transfer you, but there's no guarantee of that. Most likely you're going to lose those benefits, but you don't lose entitlements. The things that are entitled under law, you still get. But it's a brief period of time you get that anyway. So most people, using common sense, will go, get settled, get figured out, get a little bit of money in the bank, get a phone, get a card, figure out what's what, get your things together, stay for a few months, use those benefits as you build up some resources, and then you get a job offer, go somewhere else. All right? I hope that explains it. Okay? Okay. That's for Sandy. You have to read your medicals if you're not left yet. South after 6 months getting around. Jackyard, I don't have an answer for that. The answer to my knowledge is no. I don't know why you would. That's not their fault. But I mean, why? Do you have a secret you don't know that I don't know? You're not telling me? Well, the shutdown caused a backlog of, over 1,000 people. It's not that big a deal. The number of people they're processing now is the bigger problem, not the shutdown. They're processing so many people now that's stacking people like cordwood. What worries me a bit is part of our medicals was a well-known Southern hospital chain. What if our info, the fact that we applied gets out? Loretta, you need to quit worrying about things that aren't going to happen, okay? That's the second time today you've been concerned about something like that. And you can't control it. So what? So worrying about it is going to make a difference? I wouldn't. There's nothing to worry about. Do you have any news about budget? Because that could also influence the program if the government shut down. No, there's no budget. There's no budget. I don't think a budget will pass. I think there might be a continuing resolution. There might be another shutdown. How long will the next shutdown be? How can I predict that? No one knew how long this shutdown is going to be. It depends what asses the Democrats decide to be. That's the bottom line. Based on your flight prediction, would that also mean that there will be no interviews? No, I didn't say that. Once again, guys, okay, let's be very clear about this, all right? The people conducting your interviews, so there's some truth to what you're saying. The people conducting your interviews, your pre-screening are RSC and the Amerikaners. They are contractors. They are contract to provide a service. They will be working, except for holidays, the actual holiday, not the 2 weeks, the holiday, throughout that period. They'll be processing people pre-screening. Yes, you will likely see fewer interviews during that time, but some people will still be working. Some of those people don't take holiday leave. Not everybody disappears. We have staffing still in the State Department, USCIS. We still have people working there. So there will still be some interviews, but the pace will definitely slow down during that Christmas interregnum. And you might not see interviews over the Christmas to New Year's week, possible, but I can't say for certain. I don't work there. I'm giving you the norm in the U.S. government. So good question. As to it. South Africa. 4 November, exactly. The 4th of November is when it wasn't the 8th, Francis. It was the 4th. Yep. Has anyone received a rejection letter? Nope. Not to my knowledge. The day the update went up. You're right, Mark. Phone was stolen. Had to get another one. Now you will see more of me. Okay, Stephen Nordkey. I'm sorry, your phone was stolen. Does anyone know how many refugees are in the U.S. already? No one knows officially, Helgart, but the number is over 600. I would say it's probably about 800 at this stage. William should chase. Okay. I did the intake questionnaire, but my brother and I have not been emailed or phone waiting patiently. Well, there are thousands of people ET Garden Service. Yep. Apologies, you've covered this previously, Colonel, but will the reevaluation of refugee cases President Trump? No, it won't affect you. Number one, you're already being judged over a much stricter standard that wasn't applied during the Biden administration. The standard being applied to South African applicants is now being applied to the rest of the world. So it has no effect on you. You're already at that standard. Okay? The joke that occurred on the Biden administration, the lame background checks are no longer being done. The more stringent ones are a consequence of the program bringing South Africans over here. How can one send you a private message? You can send me an email, Mary Ann Barker, or if you have the contact through one of the WhatsApp or Telegram, you can send me a message there. We are worried about the shutdown in January. Well, I'm worried about it too. It's had a disastrous impact on our economy. The Democrats are nasty people. We're also part of a linked case, being the main case. Our case shows approved for resummit, and our joint case shows ready for departure. Well, that sounds good, Cindy. Congratulations. If I did my medicals on Friday, am I close enough to travel for January? Iceberg, maybe. Maybe not. It's going to take a week or 2 weeks to finish your medicals and then book you a flight. By then, it'll be the 15th of December, and if my analysis is correct, there won't be any flights till January. Just said, again, on live TV, no genocide. But another farmer was brutally murdered yesterday. Okay, but murder of a person isn't a genocide necessarily. I don't agree with what Ramposa said, but it's really not. But you're not equating apples to apples. You're equating apples to tangerines, and it doesn't work that way. When an architect 65 years of age get work there, would his age be against him? Well, Pauline, it is illegal to discriminate against people, federal law, based on age. That said, such things do happen. And if you don't have the resources to sue, it's tough. But yeah, I mean, if you're a talented architect, you can get jobs here, of course. Please define questionable. In what context, Rikas Fundameva? What context? Questionable what? South Bend or Fort Wayne? South Bend. South Bend. There's a university there. Notre Dame. I have a Zimbabwe birth certificate. If you're born in Zimbabwe, you get dual citizenship until you renounce it, which I never knew about. I don't know about that, Vera. Thousands done medicals in October, November that haven't been approved yet and have to fly. So Napoleon's answering Iceberg. I doubt it. Yep. Not if Governor Abbott has anything to say about that, Colonel Wyatt. Say about what? We've been through everything except orientation. Our case hasn't been updated. In other words, well, there are a lot of people it's done manually, to my knowledge, and it takes someone to actually input it. So I'm sure they haven't updated. Please link your Substack. Substack? Okay, sure. Substack. Okay. Here you go. I haven't updated this in a while, but yeah, it's probably time for me to do some updates to Substack. Hang on a second here. Let me get back to the chat. Okay, there's the Substack. The one Substack page did a good job, but it's out of date. I haven't updated the videos on there for the refugee stuff. So there you go. There's the Substack. Okay, I'll just pin at the top so that people don't ask for it again. Okay. Never had his passport ID, never lived there. Then you're not a Zimbabwean citizen. Okay. If you want to live in the northeast of the USA and you want a place that cares about, how do you have a Zimbabwean birth certificate if you weren't born there? I don't understand that. Oh, you haven't lived there since 81. Sorry. If you want to live in the northeast of the USA and you want a place that cares about liberty, I'd pick New Hampshire. I would agree. No state sales or income tax, good gun rights, beautiful environment, snow. Yep, New Hampshire is the only place worth living in New England if you're a conservative. The only place. Maine is a beautiful place. Massachusetts is a crap hole. It's overpopulated and dense, and New Hampshire is wonderful. I love New Hampshire. It's just a little expensive. It's the only problem. If we have another shutdown where our medicals not expire, Blue Bull, I don't have an answer to that question. I mean, where are you guys getting this medicals expire from? Did someone tell you that you have 30 days and your medicals expire? Where are you getting this from? That's like, this keeps coming up in this chat. Why are you asking this question? Why your medicals? You think your security clearance doesn't expire after 6 months? Then we got to do 6 months more investigation of what you've done the last 6 months. Come on. So email to say our first interview is on December 2nd, but the form you complete to confirm it says the first. I have no idea what to tell you there. Just another girl. Sounds like another cock up. That's terrible. If you can afford to be gone on the 1st and 2nd, the 30th, the 1st and 2nd, then I'd get to where you're supposed to go. I wonder if people that receive approval and did the entire process by the end of September will be part of the people leaving before September 15th. Okay, Mustard family. Yes, they already have. Are you not watching my program? I've already confirmed the first group of people who came over included families that had been part of that and didn't travel. I've said this already. We've already confirmed it. I'm getting so many belly aching messages from people. "Ah!" And I've answered this question. We have confirmation that families that were part of that group of people who were processed and approved tickets and didn't fly and come over, but not all of them, some of them. So I've answered this question and we've addressed it. They should have been first in my view, but I'm not running the program, am I? Not running the program. A question that keeps coming up on social groups over the last week or so, cases are marked as under review. In my case, I'm stating it's in hold. You know what this means? It means that the program is not complete. It's an administrative hold. You can't process any further until whatever isn't complete is complete. That's what it means. And again, get out of the groups. Quit going in the groups. Exactly. If you've completed the medicals and they're satisfactory, you're probably going to go. No, O'Neill, I can't get to the video because this crap keeps coming up. I mean, let me give you an example of what my Wednesday was last week, okay? All right? Wednesday, up at 6 a.m. By the way, I went to bed at 4 o'clock. Up at 6 a.m., prepping for broadcast. Interview with, who did I do on Wednesday? I did an interview, I can't remember now. An interview, then my news, then Ronaldo. Okay? That was Wednesday. Then I left here and went to the Veterans Organization at 2 o'clock and came home at midnight. When I came home at 12:30 in the morning, I started a live broadcast for my night owls and went till 2:30. I went to bed at 3 o'clock and got up at 7 o'clock. When am I supposed to make a video on financials? That is how my day goes almost every day. It is not a priority for me. It is not a priority. We've explained what to do with your money multiple times. I appreciate your interest, and I definitely want to do the video, but the people who are going to help me with it backed out because they were threatened by some lunatic wackadoodle. So it all fell to me. Oh, thank you, Rikus. Now I get what you're saying. The area they lived in. Okay, what they're complaining about, it's dangerous. There's drug dealers and pimps and people hanging out in street corners. They're scared to be there. That's questionable. That's what they said. Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying. Now I can answer that question. Okay. What do you think will be the consequence of President Trump dealing with radical left immigrants that is attacking now out of nowhere this program? South Africa is not a third world country in the scheme of things. What he was talking about is the 19 countries where travel is restricted. Cases ready to travel as per dashboard. We had to call from UCS just for a shutdown, ready to fly in 2 to 4 weeks. We have not heard anything since then. No reply. You won't get a reply in the email, go on, because all of you are writing emails and they have no one to answer those emails. You're not going to get a reply in the email. You're wasting your time sending an email. Daughter's 24, never got to finish her education here due to us being homeless at the time. Can she look into finish her education? Yeah, of course. I've already been to Twin Falls, and Willem's daughter is in university. She's in university less than a kilometer, about 1,500 meters from, maybe 2 kilometers from her house. She goes to university. Yep. And in fact, a couple of them rolled in classes at university. But yeah, so she's going to university there. Of course she can continue her education. If she doesn't have a high school diploma, if she wants to continue her education, she can sign up for adult education classes, depending where you're at. And also she can study for the GED, the general equivalency degree. Diploma, excuse me, not degree, diploma. Yeah, thank you. Rikus, they had a very bad assistance officer. Colonel helped them move and get proper assistance. Yep. I got my email from Eric Connors about 2 weeks. But if you just don't like where you're at, that's too bad. Suck it up, Buttercup. You know, no one's going to give you Johann Rupert's house. You know, so that's too bad. But if you put in a truly dangerous situation, yeah. But I get so many freaking people who write to me like, oh my God, and then I check into where they're at, and I look at the neighborhoods, and it's like they're not in a bad place. They're just picky people. But there have been genuine cases of people like that have really bad situations. So I've addressed it. The interview is not medicals. Okay. I got my email from Eric Connors. Okay. I have to take my hat off to you for indulging this madness. Yeah, same questions over and over again after it's been addressed numerous in your videos and live streams. People are too lazy to watch my videos. They're just too demanding and self-centered and come here, but that's fine. That's why we do it. I appreciate people have limited time, limited data, so I get that. I don't appreciate the disrespect and rudeness I get from people who write to me or send me messages who they think they are can eat my time up like that. But Renee, it's fine. Somebody has to do it. The U.S. government's not doing it. Is RSC doing it? Is Church World Service? No, they're attacking the program. They're not helping people. They're only meeting their contractual obligations. But the actual people doing the work for them, like RSC, the Kenyans, are doing a fantastic job. I hear over and over again from people. In fact, our interview earlier this morning with Genevieve and with her son Damon said that the Kenyans were wonderful and empathetic people to them. Yep. So anyway, what's going on here? Come on over here. I don't want the top chat. I want live chat. Yeah, but thank you, Renee, for your. I appreciate that you understand what I go through here. Helen was late. I have errands to make. Everyone, hold and take care. AA government must have rented 3 Griffin planes. They only have 1. I don't know what AA means. Andres Mola. You mean the Griffins? Well, Griffin is English for Griffin. Yeah. To all the new people asking the same questions over and over again, please do your homework and watch my videos. Yeah, I have a playlist. Thank you, Tammy Lee. So your medical has been looked at. Would you be interested in taking sponsorships from Nebular Ground News? Oh, that's what you're talking about. Sure, I'll have to look into it. ET Garden Service. I don't know who they are. I would consider it. I mean, I consider all advertising, but the only advertising I've ever done in the program has been free. I've done it for people free of charge to promote businesses during lockdown who wanted it, and also people that I know who have good stuff. So I would consider it absolutely ET Garden Service. Write me an email. I get all kinds of crap coming from Italian email addresses purporting to be companies offering this, that, and the other. I mean, I'm eligible to pimp goods on YouTube. I have been for a long time, but I just haven't done it. Boring state, but what country living? What state are we talking? What's your opinion of Kentucky? Kentucky's nice. Kentucky's beautiful. It's lovely. I would stay away from certain parts of Kentucky, but the eastern part of Kentucky, there's also a lot of poverty in Kentucky. Tennessee's much nicer. Tennessee's a beautiful place. Yep. Yep. Can I please? What is this? Can I please what? I cancel my Hulu sub. This is entertaining enough. I canceled my Hulu a long time ago. Hulu, I signed up for $5.99 a month, I think it was, and I was guaranteed no commercials, and I had access to everything. Then suddenly it was $8.99, and I was flooded with commercials, and it was just crap. So I got rid of it years ago, long before they became the big thing they are now. But they're owned by Disney, I think, or somebody like that. Are you in trouble with you guys? Why are you in trouble with? Why are you in trouble? What are you talking about, Sona Bloom? Has anyone been booked for cultural orientation? Yes, people have been booked in the last 2 weeks. Patient waiting, but as I've never heard anything filled in for November new form, I keep thinking they lost mine. Denise, I understand where you're coming from. I get that. I'm not sure what Napoleon's responding to, but again, there was no budget for this. Christmas news, South Africa. No, it won't. Please don't repeat questions. Chris can only read so fast. I didn't even see any Christmas news there. What's Christmas news, South Africa? I don't see any question from Christmas news. We're waiting for orientation. Honestly, I have every questions and worries. That's because we've listened to absolutely no one but Colonel Wyatt. Well, thank you, Kim. I hope it goes well for you there. Okay. Marie says Ken's very professional, very understanding. Yep. Pat says, damn, Colonel, you're way too busy. You need to get your feet up and enjoy some iced coffee. No, no time for that. I just saw someone saying they're crying. Oh, there you go. Pauline says, we're both crying right now. Why are you crying, Pauline? What are you crying about? My mom asked me to ask if there are any questionable areas in Connecticut. Well, there's questionable areas everywhere in the country, Sonic Bloom. I can't really. I mean, I wouldn't want to go to Bridgeport, if that's what you're asking. I mean, I'm sure they can find a place to live, but I wouldn't want to live in Bridgeport. I've been to Bridgeport recently. Went there for a hockey game. Wasn't impressed. Yeah. But I mean, that's not to get anybody panicking, going, oh my gosh, I can't go there. You can go any place, you know. I'm just saying that there's places I wouldn't want to live. What is Sonic Boom asking about crime? You don't have to remove your question, Sonic Bloom. Just, I don't know what it was. We're waiting rotation. Okay. Good enough diploma. Colonel, just, okay. Give me medicine there. Satisfaction going through. Okay. Help my uncle fill his application. He literally doesn't have an address. I had to put in GPS coordinates in. Okay. Kenny, yeah, you're right. The GED is better than the matric. Yep. Kenny's have been awesome, says Michelle. Kenny is very professional, says Marie. Mad Max, he's seen my case goes back to in progress before they fly because they do another quick review of your case and background check. Exactly. They update it last minute. Kenny's a kind of compassionate. That has been my experience. That's another person, says Vroska. Okay. Andrea says there's a trade school in the U.S. that advertises to study electrical welding with my son. Of course. No, my God, I could apply to those schools. I could go to university right now. There's no such thing as an age limit going to education. This is in South Africa. Anybody can go to any school at any time. All we do since May is getting educated and gain information. Thank you, Auntie Floyd. I really like East African people, Kenyans, Ugandans. Okay. Some people have had medicals even before a second interview, so it doesn't mean you're going fast. Exactly. It doesn't mean you're going fast. It just means that's when they schedule it. Okay. Yaku, I had our first contact. The gentleman confirmed P and Durban were at his interview, but we have had no confirmation of anybody actually doing an interview in those places. Okay. Well, Yaku, please come back and tell us if you get an interview in PE so we can confirm that. Okay. I think everyone here, the successful program should, out of respect, give you an interview for your time. Well, I would agree with that, Mark, but I'm not going to hold people to that. Do not even get my x-rays in an envelope. No, it doesn't sound strange. Depends on where you went and had it done. Yes, the UCS interview is the thing that determines your future. That's correct. Keep safe, subscribe. Thank you for that. Andre Mostart, thank you for your awesome programs again today. You're very welcome, Andre. My pleasure. Benjamin says, got my first contact from Kenya. Was very energetic, understanding. She complimented my diligence on statement. Received next contact in 8 weeks' time, most likely. Is what she said. Wow. See, now they're giving realistic expectations, Benjamin. I'm telling you, 8 weeks. And other people be freaking out. I haven't heard anything in 2 weeks, everything 3 weeks, everything in a month. No one's contacted me. Well, she told you up front. Expect to hear back in 2 months. Yeah, that's how many people are applying for this program. I appreciate that they did that. It may not settle some minds, but at least people have realistic expectations. So we're applying for the program since my first questionnaire is not sufficient enough. What do you mean your first questionnaire? Whoa, stop, Christian News essay. Stop. What do you mean your first questionnaire? The intake questionnaire only went up in November, the 4th of November, and you want to do it again? Not a good plan. Chloe, ours and our parents' case are linked. We complete medicals the same day. Our only case status has been updated, not theirs. I would not be worried. I would not be worried about that. That's not an issue, I don't think. I still understand why Pauline is crying. Did she answer? I wish they'd pick it around this program, but then it could choose lots of things. Will be run differently. Yep. Oh, life is so hopeless for us both that small news of possibilities of hope really hit deep. So feedback on my daughter finishing her high school diploma brings hope. So, you're crying out of happiness, Pauline. I thought you were crying because I made you sad. Are you crying because you're happy? Okay. All right. That's why I asked why you're crying, because I don't know why you're crying. Don't cry. No reason to cry. There's no reason to cry. I mean, even if you're happy, I mean, wait till she gets here and gets a chance to get education. Then, and I'm sorry you went through homeless. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Anyone who's homeless is terrible. Yep. Everyone needs a home and a hearth. It's not good stuff. Be without a home. So that's not changed more than 2 weeks. Are they still processing people? Yes, they're processing people. Why do you think they're not processing people? Why do you make that assumption? 2 weeks is nothing. No approval letter yet. Well, you're not getting an approval yet in 15 days. Obviously, you have the knowledge regarding Africa, and we're logical and factual, but then logic, and I never. Anyone given Durban as their choice, but no one's been called to my knowledge. They've been told they had Durban, but no one's called to my knowledge. Bridgeport, Connecticut is rough. I went there when my father and I went to Long Island, and we slept in a U-Haul truck waiting for a boat in the back alley. It looked like we were bombed out. Yeah, Bridgeport sucks, man. I know. It sucks. It sucks. A little apprehensive at the prospects of potentially being put in a state like North Dakota, Minnesota. Well, I get where you're coming from. Suck it up, Buttercup. It's on South Africa. It's insensitive, adventurizing. No, it's North Dakota is the fastest growing economy in America. North Dakota's per capita income more than doubled in the last 20 years. It's increased by 104% because of shale oil. Yep. And Bakken Reserve up there. It's a massive amount of oil in North Dakota. Benjamin, or Becoming Dragon says the interviews RSC were amazing. Unfortunately, the person's scheduling appointment says no clue. Yep, that's right. They're clueless. John Callis says, thank you, Colonel. Very tired, worked all day, only listened to you and follow almost. Thank you so much for that. And Varoshka says, when I received a call, the number appeared on my phone, but once the call was over, the number disappeared. I don't know, Varoshka. That seems odd. Apply for a job, keep refugees off Colonel's front lawn. Renee says, please, guys, calm down. All good things come to those who wait. Chill and wait. Well, Pauline, I understand that, but you and 60 million other South Africans feel the same way. Thanks for all the info. Quick question. Me and my wife will only be able to fly at the end of 2026. Some responsibilities. That's not a quick question. That's a statement. Czar Adventures. That's a statement, not a question. What is your question? Oh, the question came later. Okay. Thank you, Artie. That's a statement, not a question. Come on, refugees, hit the like button. Yeah, please hit the like button. Just 319 likes. There's 467 people here. Yeah. Come on. Let's see. We have to finance a car. What would be the best way to go about debt vehicle? You mean, what do you mean you have to finance a car? I don't understand the question. Czar Ventures. You mean in America? Everybody wants cars. Going to have to finance it. I have to finance a car. I'm a retired colonel. I haven't bought a car with cash in a long time. The last time I paid cash for a car would be 1994. Yeah, 1994 is the last time I paid cash. I bought my Volvo with cash. It was $24,000. I'd saved up while I didn't have a second car for a few years and then paid cash for it. Everyone finances a car. I don't understand what the question is. What do you mean you have to finance a car? We all have to finance a car. But your credit rating is what matters. You have to get a social security number, establish credit, and then, as your credit score goes up, then you can get loans. So you probably won't be able to buy a car initially unless you have cash or you buy a cheap used car, previously owned automobile, which is a lot of people do. And so, Willem's family is doing very well. His employer gave him a car to use for his personal use and for work, very generous. His wife works, and because she worked at a very reliable employer, Chobani, that makes the yogurt in America, the employers in the area, the car dealers in the area know that those people have jobs and they're not going to get fired unless they're useless. So with a letter of employment, she was able to get a car loan. That's unusual, but she got it. And then the Refugee Assistance Center had a car for like $500 or $400 that they bought when they got there. So that went to the daughter who's going to university now. He has a car from his employer, and she has a Bucky. She has a truck. I'm envious. Her Bucky is amazing. It's huge. It's nice. She's financed it, but she was able to finance it. So, every situation is different, but generally speaking, you have to have a credit history to get going. It's a daunting experience. What's this? Move to a new country, not knowing where you'll end up, what you'll be like. So many questions. Yeah, Stefan, you can make a fair point. Yeah, don't give identifiable information about places you're going, things. So just keep the bank account, South African deposit cash. You're talking about, okay, you're talking about South Africa. Yeah, we don't care about your debt in South Africa. It's none of our business. But we do have extradition laws. We do have legal laws, treaties with South Africans. So if you abandon your debt in South Africa, that's your problem, but that is your problem. And they can do a summons and ask, so you'll have to sort that out. If you've got debt in South Africa, you should sort your debt out. No one should welch on a debt. I'm criticizing Ramaphosa for being a beggar, asking for debt relief. And I'm not going to tell you to abandon your debt. Okay, I understand. I thought you were talking about financing a car here. Gotcha. Yep. But you can keep your bank account in South Africa, and you can transfer money from the U.S. back to South Africa to keep filling up your bank account to keep paying off your loan. Yeah, you can do that. If that's your question, you can do that. Yep, that's true. Thank you for your assurance. My whole family's watching your videos. Thank you. You're very welcome, Clue. No, there's no budget. No. The flights are not stopped because of a budget. No, the flights, if my analysis is correct, if I'm correct, it will be because of the holidays. Okay, not to do with the budget. Cousins from USA come over yesterday. We were pulled over by police, and he was thrown in the back of the vehicle, and we were extorted. There you go. Well, see, they try that crap with me. I'm prepared for that. You know, it's easy. I mean, that's fine. You want to take me to the police station? Let's go. But you can explain that to the ambassador or the charge d'affaires. What do you mean? Well, I'll be calling the Marine desk at our embassy in Hatfield and reporting harassment of a U.S. national. Yep. Yeah, no, you'll make it in the USA. Unless you're lazy, you won't make it here. Is all I'm so replying because I cannot delete my private. Okay, well, do what you're going to do, Christian. Buy the car, then refinance 1 year, and your credit score is. What are you saying there? Question is more about what to do with it here. Oh, well, you can give it to somebody you trust. You can sell it, you know, and pay off the loan. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You don't want to abandon it because it'd obviously just be stolen or fall apart. CarMax, we bought 5 vehicles over the years from them. Never had a bad experience. Joe, Texas, you must be a South African that's living in Texas. I never caught on to that until just now. Lekka Bryth, my brother-in-law that returned from the States last night, end of season for the farm he works for. He tells me we will not make a mistake if we go to the States. Of course you won't make a mistake. Why don't you don't listen to me? Fine, listen to your relatives. We all have documents, evidence ready. Get to head into the game. Do research. Don't be lazy. Appreciate you, Colonel. Waiting approval. Okay. New to the channel, so I'm sorry for asking. Still working through all the videos, but we did the questionnaire start in November, and we're busy with our passports. Indicated what? That'll be a problem. What? And the questionnaire you indicated be a problem. If you're just now getting passports, you are really late to the game there. I wish you the best, Cherie Roots. Our son waiting for orientation and flight details. My husband and I are waiting for approval letter. Yep. Colonel, do you know if we should expect communication email after completing the questionnaire? No, you just get a confirmation that it's been completed. That's it. Eventually, they'll contact you. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. You're welcome. You're welcome, Zara Adventures. I hope that helps. That is the thing. I have submitted and completed the questionnaire, but after listening to Colonel's video yesterday, I realized I have not enough motivation to be screened. Ah, okay. All right. So, yeah, but they will contact you if you put it in, and you can give them more information. So, again, I think people don't understand. You think that this is a program to get people victims of crime. We can't take 60 million South Africans. You're all victims of crime. 45 million South Africans are victims of violent crime. There's probably about 7 million women who have been raped in South Africa. And there's been probably about 8 million families that have had members murdered. That's not going to get you in America. That's not the basis of this program. Is that heartless? No. Am I being uncaring? No. I just need you to listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. That is not the basis. Crime is not the basis for coming to America as a refugee. No. The world is full of crime. The world is full of suffering. That's not the reason. However, if people are treated unjustly because of racism or because of their faith or because of their sexuality or their membership in a particular group, that is the basis for coming. And in South Africa, if we're coloreds, Indians, and whites, it's because of race. If you've had a case of past injustice as a consequence of racial animus, that is a genuine case. If you have a genuine fear that you can't get a government contract, you're going to go broke, your business is going to stop, you're going to collapse, you can't get a job because you're being denied access because of this, that, and the other, you can articulate that, well, then there you go. But just telling people my house was broken into, my wife was raped, I'm sorry, that's tragic, that's horrible. But that's not a basis of coming to America. Right, it says completed. That's what I just said, Anthony. You don't get an email. It says completed. They'll eventually contact. Rent a car? No, renting a car is outrageously expensive. Deanie Mayer. In 6 months, you can't rent a car for 6 months. They don't let you do that. You can lease a car, but you have to have a credit history to lease a car. Christian, do what you're going to do, man. You can willingly notify the bank in South Africa to willingly give the financial vehicle back to them to... Oh, okay. We told the U.S. cousins to report the incident. The cops had nothing to charge him with except being rude. The problem is the cops here could drive around for hours before releasing him. Being rude is not a crime. Being rude is not a crime. It's nothing to charge with there. What did Pauline ask? I missed that. Pauline, who was crying for a good reason, I think. I don't see what Pauline wrote. See, I missed some of these commandments. They slip by. If the RSC, my case, is approved, are you approved or only approved when you receive the approval letter? Well, I mean, what it says on a website doesn't mean anything. Once you have a letter giving you provisional approval, that's what matters. Good evening. We have to be in Joburg. Our car broke down 25 kilometers from where we must be for the interview. Oh, Anna. Okay. All right. Okay. So is there anybody here that is within 30 kilometers of Johannesburg who can help them? But you need to give me more information, Anna. Is your appointment in the morning? Is it an appointment in the morning? This is a very, very dicey thing because someone's going to take a risk of coming out and picking you up. Yeah, your car probably won't be able to come back. Is there somebody who's a mechanic come out and fix your car? Do you have any idea what's wrong with your car? Wow. Wow. No, you don't change your certificate. No, it doesn't convert, Sammy. It doesn't convert. Most people look at your matric probably as a high school diploma. Yep. Been watching your videos since April. My chat name used to be top 10 for my sister channel, and you've helped a lot. Hopefully we'll get, okay, cool. No, Sammy, your GED is not a matric, you know. North of Joburg. Okay, can my husband at least apply for us, primary? Anna, yes, what? If you want help, you're going to have to give us some information here, okay? Well, I answered, Pauline. If you have insurance on your car, call roadside assistance, attach your insurance. Yeah, there you go. But I suspect that may not be the case. Hold for 2 weeks. So do you think we're simply trying to catch up? I think they're probably trying to catch up. I think that's what's going on there. I think that's what's going on there, folks. They're probably trying to catch up. Give me a second here. Oh, my goodness. 13 to 13 now. Wow. Is some family already received their provisional approval, provisional, not provincial, waiting for orientation flight, and now their family completed the new form. Can these be linked? No, it's a different thing. When they're contacted, they'll have to ask to be linked. My uncle does not have an address, so we had to fill in coordinates in the intake form. So people must not stress. Having no address in Aurora is not uncommon. It's true. I would like to remind those who have already gone through the process. You signed a non-disclosure agreement. Yep. Yep. Okay, so icebergs to the east of Joburg might be able to help. We work on yachts. When we move to AMC, what is AMC? If you want to work on yachts in America, then you probably need to be in San Diego, Newport, or Annapolis. And San Diego would be the best place to be of those. That's where the yachts are. What is Czar asking? I didn't see any Czar there. We work in we moved, but we both still work in yachts from. I don't understand what you mean required to be inland. When you say yachts, if it's leaving the U.S. territorial waters, then you're going to have approval. Is that what you mean? So if you work on a yacht, and are you talking about you're a steward on like a cruise liner or a wealthy yacht that transits the Mediterranean or the Caribbean, you have to have approval from USCIS to do that. We're in south of Joburg, huge storm that could be the reason for the breakdown. Well, okay. And I haven't heard anything for Anna, so. I am from South Africa in the U.S. for nearly 8 years. That's what I figured. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Got you, Joe. I didn't really catch on to that before. So now I've caught on base what you said earlier tonight. So thank you for that, Joe. Please let us know if you would need us to come out and assist. We're about an hour from you guys. All right, Anna Kruger, there's another person. Rhombus meniscus. But, I mean, it's nighttime. It's dangerous. So, you know, a breakdown is dangerous for everybody. So, Anna, if you want help, you need to let us know. Malvern Sassel Garage. Okay. Okay. Does anyone know where that's at? Malvern Sassel Garage? Okay, let me look at where that's at. Okay, that's just inside the N3. Okay, all right. In Kensington, near Primrose. Anybody that can help with that? Anybody can help with that? Let me know. Okay. Yeah, I know. I know. That's why I said. Too far for Deanie Dreyer. No, you're not leaving for the Mediterranean. No, that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. And I don't know that you can live for the Caribbean, so I don't know. Well, the Sassel Malvern, I'll tell you where it's at. And tell me if this is wrong. Here's the address for it. So, Anna, look at this. Tell me if that's wrong. That's the address I have for it. I don't want someone going the wrong place. Is that the address? And we get a security guys. Any of you of Austin, but if they can place me there, it would be brilliant for me to find work because I'm a Kev, we have HVAC everywhere in America. I have 3 $20,000 HVAC units on top of the Veterans Organization building and one in the back. We have 4 HVAC devices, systems, and 2 of them are broken. I need an HVAC technician right now. I just can't pay you. Yeah, you'll have to discuss that with USCIS and ask them about that if you get interviewed, okay? All right. No, my problem with Austin is it's run by leftist liberals. It's a nice town, don't get me wrong, but it's run by leftist liberals. Once you submit, you cannot go back in. You might be able to give more info when they phone you. Exactly, that's my argument. No, it's not a question, Francois, of time spent out. The point is that we can't protect you outside the United States. That's why they have to give approval for people to travel abroad. You're a refugee, not an international worker jetting from place to place. You're a refugee. So it's it's unusual. It's beyond the norm. So you just have to, have to see how it goes. Okay, Anna Kruger says that's the correct address. So if whoever's in the group... Virtual Western Cape, okay. Can somebody get to that address? Is there anybody? I'm not asking anyone to go necessarily, but if you're able to help Anna, who's broken down there, okay. All right, so she said that's the correct address, okay. All right. Yeah, there are a lot of South Africans in Texas. There are a lot of South Africans in Pennsylvania. A lot of South Africans all over the place. Afrikaan's number plate for his car. Interesting. Anyway, so there you go. I think I've answered most of the questions. I've gotten to them. And we're just looking to see if somebody can help Anna right now. Oh boy. Next is to send out a request, awaiting feedback. Okay. I'll go look. Google, Gmail. Oh, excuse me. Nothing there. Maybe it's a WhatsApp. Well, Michelle Roux is asking the right questions. Number plate in Nevada. Andres Muller, I don't know. What email? What email? Guys, I mean, I get thousands of emails. You're asking me for an email. What email? I don't see. What email? When did you send it? Well, Dini, that's a fair question. But Anna is not very good at explaining herself. Seg SA, you and a lot of people in that boat. Are you going to leave your car there, Anna? Okay, Philip, I'm glad I answered your question. Oh, okay. Okay, Andres. So I don't. What's your question then? If I responded to the email. Oh my goodness, guys. I mean, I don't read cryptic things. Okay, November 14th. Oh, again, I okay, now I know what your email is. Okay, but again, I responded to you. I don't know what am I supposed to do with that. I can't do anything with that. Yeah, no, your car gets left there. You're never going to see it again. That's why it needs to be repaired. Oh my goodness. No, there's not much I can do about that. I mean, that's your word against the person that interviewed you. You think who's going to win that argument? Me intervening isn't going to help you. They don't work for me. I mean, if they work for me, I can do something. Nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. It kind of sucks from your perspective, but nothing I can do about it. One-third of recreational boating goes on the Great Lakes. That's probably true. Your uncle in America, that's probably true. But yeah, and I guess Chicago has a number of yachts. I don't know about the rest of it, but the concentration of yachting is densest in San Diego, excuse me, and Newport. Anna just needs to get the interview. All right, well, all right. But then you got to get back to your car so you can get home. You're not leaving after the interview. You're not being flown to America, so you got to get back. But your concern is get to the interview right now. Gotcha. I don't think Anna has the money for an Uber. That is an option, though. With 7 people in an Uber, oof. An appointment by phone, that must have been for screening. What is Pauline saying? That Arctic is saying you won't last a day. What did Pauline say? Now I'm curious. I wish I could search chat. It doesn't have that ability. It really is annoying because I miss these messages. I don't know what's going on here with Pauline. Pauline was crying because she was happy. And now Arctic is responding to a Pauline message that doesn't show up here. Let me check the other side and see if it's just missed over here. Let me see. I don't see anything from Pauline. Oh, thank you, Suzanne Franco, for the 70 Rand Super Chat. I missed that somehow. Thank you. Clouds are gathering. Okay. I don't see anything from Pauline. Orientation's not on hold. You just haven't been scheduled for it. There's no orientations on hold. They're still doing them. Oh, no. I don't know. No, I don't have any assistance. Thank you. Yeah, do not share the destination group. Control F opens the search bar. Control F. There you go. Okay. Thank you for that. Control F. Now, once you submit a questionnaire, you can't go back, change anything. Thank you. Control F. Oops. Okay. Do I need a virtual assistant? Oh, no. Thank you. Gotcha. Okay. Control F. I have to remember that. Somehow I didn't know that. Okay, so Virtual Western Cape's put a message out in the emergency groups to try to get you some help. My daughter and I are good. Others also have helped me answer. Okay, big storm. I've put the message out. Okay. All right, well, tonight's been rather easy so far. You know, usually someone keeps asking the same question over and over again. Tonight's not too bad. Hey, Garrett, what's going on? Drove 700 kilometers to Constant, but they did not have an appointment for us. Did you take the email saying you had an appointment? Did you take the email? That's my advice, is take the email to them and say, here, I had an appointment. I drove 700 kilometers to come here. You people told me to come here. That's my advice. Otherwise, why are you driving 700 kilometers if you don't have an email telling you there's an appointment? Gareth Griffiths, welcome to you. Thank you for subscribing. Today's been a slow day for subscriptions. I thought we'd have more with Cyril on, but we didn't have that many. Yeah, not too many subscriptions, so nice to see it. But that Cyril thing, we had 16,000 on live. So I had a 42,000 live this past week and a 16,000 live. That's pretty wild. And let's see how many people have come on since then. It's 18,000 now for sure. I got one subscriber from it, though, so it's mostly my audience that showed up. The SAP story that I did live, I got 66 subscribers from. That's pretty wild. That's still going up there. Cool. That's usually not how lives go. All right, so where are we at on this, folks? Oh, they scored a touchdown. Damn. Oh, they suck. This team sucks. I don't even know why I invest my energy in them. Benjamin, she can't answer that question. She needs to go somewhere in Johannesburg, okay? Benjamin, she can't answer that question because she'll divulge where the location is. So if someone can help, thinks they can help, then we can get them in contact with her. I have Anna's contact information, but I need someone to contact me that might be able to help, and then I'll put them and they can call Anna directly rather than put the number here. Okay? All right? All right? Well, I'm not going to be able to fix all that, so whether it's an automatic or manual, why does that matter? Unless the transmission is wrong. Okay. Pauline says, thank you. This has been great. Well, we do it every Sunday, rain or shine, or snow. In this case, we have snow outside every Sunday. I'll be back on later tonight for Night Owls. I only take Saturday nights off, and thank goodness I needed some sleep last night. But I'll be back later for Night Owls. Sagewood House. No. Remove that. Remove that. You cannot be putting locations in here. Cannot be putting locations in here. You're not helping anybody. All right. You can tow an automatic in neutral. She has 7 people, Alan. So Bolt says 187 Rand. That's not bad. 187. I took care of it, Blue Ball. I took care of it. 187 Rand to get from there to that's not bad. That's not bad. Why would I do what? Delete a comment? Operational security. All right, Veroshka, maybe I'll see you in Night Owls, which will be morning for you guys. It's getting late in South Africa because we did this at 9. At 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock South Africa time. Oh, no, I took care of it, Ebola. Yeah, neutral. There you go. All right. Okay, if anybody can help her, that's where she's at. And if anybody sends me a message in the meantime, either email or a WhatsApp, then I will communicate your information to her. All right? Yeah, I started at 9, but it's after 10 now. That's what I was trying to get. Oh, it's not after 10. Yeah, it is after 10. Yeah, it's 10, excuse me. Yep. Doesn't convert to anything. I don't know what that means in the U.S. Yep. Good night, Werner. Yep. I don't know what that translates into the U.S. So, and a lot of people with a lot of good questions tonight, a lot of interest here, a lot of new names, but a smaller audience than usual. That's interesting. All right. Okay, wanted to find out. Bye-bye and thank you. You're welcome, Kaffee. You guys take care. All right, Anna still needs some help there. If anybody sends me information, I will forward it to her. Otherwise, Anna, recommendation is to get an Uber or a Bolt, if you can manage that, and get there in the morning, okay? Gordons Bay to Cape Town, that's cheap. That's all it costs in an Uber to go from Cape Town to Gordons Bay. That's a long drive, man. It's a 45-minute drive. Yeah, your academic qualifications have to be evaluated here in America. So I believe you're welcome. A happy birthday once again to you, or anniversary of your birthday. You're not born today, otherwise you wouldn't be chatting. You wouldn't be able to type. There are security services that come to you and guard you in your car inside if you break down. I don't know who they are. Good night, Ebola Games. Philip, people who had the orientation can answer that question for you better than I can. Yep. Show us some snow. Well, the snow's outside. I don't know if it's still on the ground. It might have melted by now. It's 42 degrees. That's warm. Yeah, the ones have been on Teams. Yeah, so that's what I've heard too. Please let us know that Anna is safe in next live. Scary to be that situation. Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason I've been hanging on as long as I have, but nobody's really solving the issue. So, okay. Bye, Elena. Anthea, you're welcome. It costs $300 to get from Pretoria to Joburg. Yeah, but this is Joburg to Joburg. That's why it's less. Some use Bolt Uber all the time. Okay, cool. Whole question on my cell was a bit tricky. Yeah, you shouldn't do it on your cell phone. In fact, if you follow the instructions, it says don't do that. Okay, all right. No, that's all right. Not everybody can help. Yeah, at times in the morning, things change. Exactly right. All right, Sega. You're very welcome. Glad I was able to help. Janika, you're very welcome. All right, ich bedanke mich, meine Damen und Herren, und ich hoffe, dass alle einen guten Abend haben, und wir drücken die Daumen für Anna, und ich hoffe, dass alles in Ordnung ist, und morgen darf sie dabei sein. Okay? All right, that's going to be it for tonight, folks. All right, I'm going to take a break. I've been at this for 4.5 hours of live broadcasting. Thank you for being here. Be sure to hit the like button if you don't know. Actually, is it 4.5? It's longer than that. No, I started at 10. It's 5.5 hours of live broadcasting. Wow. Only had a 10-minute break between, so 5.5 hours. Well, thank you, Pauline. Ja, also ich habe mich Deutsch selbst gelernt und habe Deutsch schon seit 1984 Deutsch gesprochen. Ja, und fließend irgendwann am Ende 84 oder Anfang 85, ja. Selbst gelernt. Und später war ich auf der Universität, wo ich die Grammatik richtig gelernt habe. Ja. Your stepfather is German. Okay, well, that's interesting. Gerd, ja, du alte Knabe. Okay, all right. Guten Tag. He spelled that wrong. Yeah, that's definitely wrong. It's not spelled that way. All right, guys. Ja, schönen Abend noch. Sleep well. Schlaf gut. Okay? All right. Cool beans. You guys are welcome. Anna, hopefully we can get a solution for you. Okay? Hang in there. I'll be checking my stuff for the next hour to see if someone can help you that's here that doesn't want to disclose things. Okay? If not, then get yourself an Uber if you can manage it, or a Bolt and get there so you're there in the morning. Okay? But I worry about your car if that happens. All right? Maybe somebody knows how to fix things to come there. But again, you're not in a very good area. That's why people are a little nervous. All right, and I'll be back on with Night Owls later on. All right, so, all right, guys, 7 people in a car. That's crazy. All right, and I thought that nobody knew about what you were doing. It's interesting. Cheers, everybody. Be well.